President of Kazakhstan, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, held negotiations with his Belarusian counterpart, Alexander Lukashenko. The heads of states discussed issues on strengthening further cooperation. In particular, the parties highlighted their interest in increasing the trade volumes. The president of Belarus said that the bilateral relations correspond to the strategic interests. I think that as a result of the negotiations, we are reaching very serious agreements, which I expect that it will be implemented in the near future.
Казахстан наш ключевой торговый партнер. За 3 года увеличили товарооборот более чем в 2 раза.
Kazakhstan is our key trade partner. We have increased and doubled the trade turnover over the last 3 years. If we continue to reach such indicators in the next years, we will equalize the balance in our trade. The trade volume in our country has increased 1.5 times in the first 8 months of 2019. These are the real results of the joint work. We are ready to consider the offers made by Kazakhstan to achieve the balanced trade turnover. We have reached agreements on all issues on our agenda. Today, we are ready to go further from simple trade to creation of more joint enterprises for the manufacturing of products.
Только за 8 месяцев текущего года объем в нашу страну увеличился, я сказал, 1,5 раза.
Trade and economic cooperation between Kazakhstan and the United Kingdom are expected to be increased after the latter exits the European Union. This opinion was shared by the UK's Minister for Investment, Graham Stewart, at the meeting of Kazakh-British Business Council and Investment Forum.
Now, as the UK prepares to leave the European Union and become truly a global champion of free trade, we want British firms to play an even more central role in helping Kazakhstan grow and develop.
Members of the Foreign Ministry of Kazakhstan met with the British businesses at the Investment Forum. Following the discussions, the parties outlined several large investment projects, including construction of dairy farm and hospital.
Today we were signing a memorandum with Kazakhstan to promote investment and bring knowledge transfer to the country. We're very excited with the opportunity to work with Kazakhstan, and we hope to be in Kazakhstan in the coming weeks to begin these discussions and investment around manufacturing, engineering. That's the type of work that we see, leveraging off the new financial centre.
Organizers said that the forum is held every year. The forum is aimed at increasing trade and economic indicators as well as attracts direct foreign investments into Kazakhstan.
A team of Kazakh scientists has developed an exoskeleton for post-stroke rehabilitation of patients. The unique project was presented at the Digital Health Astana exhibition held in the capital. Meanwhile, the intelligent robotic system has been created to implement various techniques for rehabilitation of patients who suffered a stroke or an accident. The system uses computer and graphical user interfaces. This is a complex decision which includes software, artificial intelligence, robotics and electronics. We had to combine all of this. We will present it in the Kazakh mass market starting from 2021. We plan to supply nearly 400 to 500 devices until 2024. We plan to sell the medical devices in Kazakhstan as well as in India and Europe. The unique IT project has become the best digital solution among the largest local and international companies at the exhibition. The project was also listed in the world's top 20 innovation projects created by the United Nations.
The level of digital transformation in Kazakhstan it's a good level because the internet mobile is available, because devices are available, because intelligence is available in Kazakhstan. We can really help to implement very quickly.
The Digital Health Astana is organized as part of the Digital Kazakhstan program. Over 300 developers and more than 100 speakers from Kazakhstan and Commonwealth of Independent States took part in the event.
The Documentalog company has introduced its system of electronic workflow to more than 300 enterprises for over 12 years. The Housing Construction Savings Bank of Kazakhstan has been using the Documentalog system since 2015. During this period, the head office and 18 regional branches of the bank were connected to the program. The Housing Construction Savings Bank has been actively digitalizing all banking processes for several years. The system is created for the convenience of the client. We believe that our client should receive the maximum services at the lowest cost. It also depends on optimizing the internal business processes. Digital transformation significantly reduces the bank's costs as well as reduces time for the management to make decisions. Recently, the Housing Construction Savings Bank transferred all its electronic work documents to the cloud in order to optimize their operational expenditure. The service model is used when an organization stores all its work documents and systems in the cloud provided by Documentalog, and at the same time, the organization does not need to invest in its capital expenditure. Meanwhile, the load on technical support will also be greatly reduced. The transition to the cloud technology allowed the Housing Construction Savings Bank to significantly reduce its expenditure for servers and maintenance, increases the level and quality of user support for the bank. The system is available 24/7 from anywhere in the world. The Otanda Star Foundation announced about its plan to support ethnic Kazakhs abroad, which is currently being carried out at a meeting. In addition, discussions were also held on encouraging the return of ethnic Kazakhs to their historical homeland. The foundation has launched a roadmap for education and preservation of Kazakh language. The main point of the program include development of state program and project of law on support of Kazakhs abroad and their voluntary resettlement, as well as coordination of call centers and public receptions. To date, the work is being carried out on learning the experience of foreign countries on supporting their compatriots and practice of their returning to the historical homeland. Targeted expert research is being conducted as well. As a result of this work, we will develop proposals and prepare the final materials, which will be provided to the relevant authorities. Tashkent will host a meeting of Council of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization on November 1st and 2nd. Topics of mutually beneficial cooperation between the regions are expected to be discussed at the event. The meeting will contribute to the expansion of partnership in transport, energy and industry areas, as well as increase investments volumes and introduce new innovations. China has become the largest trading partner for Central Asian countries. In 2018, the trade turnover between the countries amounted to nearly $42 billion. In the first 6 months of 2019, the figure has increased by 9.6%. The parties are actively developing land-based trade and economic cooperation. Experts consider education as another important area of partnership. Meanwhile, the number of students from Central Asian countries studying in Chinese universities has reached 30,000. The United Nations will advise Turkmenistan on customs controls. This was announced at a meeting between the parties in Ashgabat. A discussion was held on issues related to the medium-term strategy of the Regional Representative Office. During negotiations, the UN representative spoke highly of the active participation of local customs service in the national project of the UN Office on Drugs and Crime, the Container Control Program.
Chingaz Aitmatov's Mother's Field was presented in a new format in Kyrgyzstan. The show was performed with movements instead of words, as well as dances and gestures instead of sentences and dialogues. A graphic suite was shown at the Russian Drama Theatre in Bishkek. The body language, music and modern video design have metaphorically revealed the deepest meaning of the work by the world-famous writer. Some parts of the dance performances takes place in the middle of rows.
Мы стараемся это все переживать уже в более, как скажем так, вместе с музыкой.
We try to experience this using music and flexibility. This is not exactly the dance. Nevertheless, everything is described and said in this work. Most importantly, the stage directors have maintained the purity of the aesthetic and morality of the entire work through this performance, which is new to our performance.
Хранить чистоту эстетическую и моральную чистоту все произведения.
This is a story of love and spiritual intimacy. Human life is born, Heroes of the story survive together by dealing with anxiety and growing seeds of hope and joy. It's noteworthy that the initial complexity of images gradually disappears, and each image, as the performance continues, becomes more understandable to spectators.
Тут язык тела, он немного...
There is body language, there is more of flexibility. Personally, it is a little harder for me. We focus more on our bodies.
Говоришь телом.
The performance has won several awards at prestigious theater festivals for the originality of the production and presentation.
The capital hosted the premiere show of the Shani Rag musical performance for the media. The unique performance was presented by the Astana Musical Theatre. Shani Rag is an experimental performance of the new area. The plot takes place in a yurt. Conveying all the glory of the cultural identity of Kazakhs, the artists depict the important stages of human life. The event organizers said that national traditions and customs, as well as folk instruments and songs, give the performance a unique national spirit. The production also features modern choreography and new technical opportunities. The performance will premiere on November 5th and 6th.
Қазақстанда әлі болмаған. Бұл тез үрленіп қойылатын киіз үй. Осы киіз үйдің ішінде...
I think that there hasn't been such a performance in Kazakhstan yet. The yurt is built right on the stage. We perform inside the yurt. The rehearsals had lasted 4 months. During this time, we staged the drama from scratch. Music for the play has been composed recently. It is based on traditional folklore compositions. Various ritual and national songs are played during the show. We tried to adapt all this in a modern way.
Аушадерларымыз бар, үкәуіміз бар, соның барлығын алып келіп, соған жаңа көзқараспен өңделген.
Nur-Sultan hosted the Sakin Seyfullin Person and Time International Conference, which was dedicated to the 125th anniversary of the Kazakh literature poet. Well-known local and foreign figures, civil servants, poets, writers, and other creative intellectuals of the capital took part in the event. The speakers emphasized the special achievements by Seyfullin in the formation and development of the Kazakh literature, and they also highlighted that it is very important to learn and promote his life and rich creative heritage.
Қайшылықтарға қарамастан, сол кездегі большевиктік саясаттың өзін
He was a great person and a real fighter. Despite the political differences, he managed to have an influence on the Bolsheviks in favor of our people, our nation. He was a really outstanding person. We were called as Kyrgyz Kaysaks as well as Kirsik by the government until 1925. Sakin Seyfullin managed to change this. If you read the literature written in those times, you will notice that our names and surnames were written distortedly. We owe it to this outstanding person.
Сәкеннің алдында бүкіл ұлт ретінде, халық ретінде қарыздарымыз деп айтуға болады.
A unique drink, kumis, has several health benefits. People usually drink kumis when they need to feel invigorated or for overall health. Kumis is also known for quenching thirst, strengthening the immune system, and fighting against diseases. Nomads from Central Asia and Mongolia started making kumis before the current era. Ancient recipes of the drink were secretly kept. Today, kumis is very popular in Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and Bashkortostan. Kumis is made of fresh mare's milk. The taste of kumis depends on the dish that it is kept in. The cube-shaped containers should be cleaned and smoked on birch bark. The quality of the drink depends on the number of times it is being mixed. The mare pasture also influences the quality of kumis. If there is enough grass, then the kumis is nutritious and has a thick consistency.